Oh, look at this. Successful author 5-minute focus, episode 238, scene transitions. It's 3 in the morning here, but I got a great internet for the moment. So let's do this. Transitions. There's a number of different ways to transition between the scenes, that main action, the main characters driving that plot forward. One is a fade out and then fade back in. This is when you've got some sexy times and you do the closed door things. Her robe fell to the floor and he kicked the door closed with his. You end the scene and then you start the next scene with something that makes sense on, okay, he made it in his room and was still able to get some sleep. Okay, just a little bit of a transition. It could only be a sentence or two, but that's where you move from one to the other logically without jerking your readers back and forth with a time thing. Like he kicked the door closed with his foot and then all of a sudden he ends up in a car. So what the hell happened? Okay, leaving the room, that's the next scene or the next start of the scene, and that's your transition. It also, from a technical standpoint, I use 3 asterisks because most formatting programs, they recognize those 3 asterisks as a scene transition. So then they'll put whatever you want there, whether it's a line and a neat thing or an image or something like that. So that's a fade out, fade in. Close and open. This is where you change the setting, where you're not where you're head hopping. You're moving from, here's one person doing one thing. Clancy does this with the 3 different plots going on, intertwining until they connect together at the end. So when you close one, this scene and these characters doing one thing, and now we're moving over here to this other scene. Sometimes we use a scene set where you just say, oh, they're in this battle star, they're in this space station, and then move on. That's kind of a cheap way to do it. Other ways is you have something right away that informs the reader, here's where they are. I only use the geolocators, that geology, when I'm jumping between scenes and subplots. That's changing locations, and it's important to keep the reader informed very quickly. Hey, here's where they are now. And then you pick right up and move right into it. And you don't have to get creative with that first paragraph of, hey, here's where they are, and trying to hide it, make it like you're hiding. Why? Readers are smarter than that. Hey, they're in this space station. There you go. And then keep moving forward. You set the scene. See, in a movie, you get to see that. Hey, here's an outside shot of the space station. And they fade in and they go into it. And now all of a sudden you're inside doing something. Simple, very simple. It's easy, cheap. It's not a shortcut. It just helps move the reader quickly into a new place where you're moving the plot forward. This is, you have related scenes going on. Maybe you are head hopping. I just wrote a scene yesterday with at a negotiating table between 4 different parties. And it was moderated by an AI, an artificial intelligence. And this AI did all of his point of view stuff. And then I did the 3 asterisks because now it's a change, even though it's the exact same scene, but changed into the head of one of the negotiators and his perceptions of everything that was going on. So without head hopping, where you're changing the viewpoint repeatedly within the same scene, within the same paragraph, without moving your reader with you. So linkages, make sure that, and then doing that transition where here's what he thought, and then immediately into this is what the human saw in that exact same event, and then move forward from there. Side plots. This is the magician's friend. Hey, look over here, and then they're doing something back over here. You've got a side plot going on, and you want to take the reader's eye off the ball of the main plot for a short time. So take that side plot, maybe a little something going on, and keep the reader engaged. And this is in John Truby's courses, he'll tell you that you need at least 12 side plots, 12 things going on simultaneously, and up to 24 to keep the reader engaged, keep brains active. People are really, really smart. So when you've got all these different things going on and not 100 different names going on simultaneously where they're losing track of who's who. No, this is a subplot of the server hitting on these young men over here, and this is going on while and it distracts the main character, but it's something to focus on for a short time. And what's going on in that is that server involved with anything else going on with the main character? A side plot, just a quick distraction, a separate scene, but it also transitions because now then you can have the people getting up and hurrying away because you looked at them. Simple enough. Quick transitions between the scenes and the scene types that you need. These smooth the flow of the reader. Anytime you're jerking the reader back and forth, if they get frustrated with that, they'll put your book down. Never give them a reason to stop reading. Look at that, 5 minutes already, and I'm just wandering. Transitions. Make sure you move smoothly from one scene to the next in a way that doesn't jerk the reader out of it. Just all of a sudden, like you said, close the door, and then all of a sudden he's in a boat driving down a river. What the hell happened? You can't do that to your readers. You've got to give them something to follow. Now, if that's a side plot, fine, but that's a different character, and they were climbing into the boat, and then all of a sudden you have this other scene because it's chronologically aligned, and you can't write chronologically aligned things simultaneously. You can only write them one after the other. All right. I hope that rambling helps. Peace, fellow humans.